Lord Clint Van Zieks left a will in which he confessed to everything. When those words came out of Asogi's mouth, it deranged me completely. I knew I must do anything and everything in my power to contain the situation. But I couldn't find the damn document. I searched his cell, but it wasn't there. Which precipitated the jailbreak plot, I presume. What do you mean? The need to obtain them was all-consuming. I was sure that if I facilitated Asogi's escape, he would emerge with the will somewhere on his person. Despite searching his limp body in the cemetery that night, it still eluded me. It never crossed my mind that it was concealed in the sword's hilt. Got him. What pains me now is that my brother left this world without a word to me. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks. Point of fact, I think perhaps that isn't the case. Sorry? How can that be? There is more to his last will and testament. What? As I confront the prospect of my demise, I feel bitter regret for my younger brother, Barak. You've always looked up to me, and now you follow in my footsteps to become a prosecutor. It is my fervent wish that my unspeakable deeds should not hinder your advancement. I ask not for understanding, for none could understand my depravity. I only ask for forgiveness. Asogi is a fine detective, and a hunter worthy of respect. He has agreed to honor my final two wishes. The first is that this document survives. The second, I cannot commit to paper. I have confessed my sins to my wife. May she find resolution in my death. My eternal gratitude to my Japanese friend. I rest my quill. Clint Van Zieks. Clint. You know, I'm starting to think Van Zieks isn't going to be smiling at the end of this. Maybe a somber smile, but not like a happy smile. Male Strongheart. You colluded with Seishiro Jigoku in a criminal plot so immense it spanned the oceans, and you cold-heartedly murdered all those who knew the truth about what happened 10 years ago. Why did you set about that now, a whole decade later? To ascend to the very peak. These last 10 years made me realize being Lord Chief Justice wasn't enough. Short of becoming Her Majesty's Attorney General, I could have no real power to effect the changes needed in this country. And for that promotion, I needed to ensure no remnants of the past remained. How could you? I like everything to run smoothly, in the exact manner I prescribe, like a well-oiled machine. And I was just a step away. And for your ambitions to succeed, you even bothered to count the number of brilliant people you had killed. Ah, Mr. Reaper, are you not forgetting something? Such as... You very much adopted your usual prosecutor-like demeanor in the proceedings now. But the reality of the situation is that you are the defendant in this trial. Ah. However, the presiding judge would appear to have fallen from the bench, as it were. I suggest, therefore, that we entrust the final education to an old friend, my lord! Yay! As a member of the judiciary, I've been following the proceedings from the gallery. And I must say, I shan't ever forget the extraordinary battle between good and evil that I witnessed here today. Ah, how I miss the sound of the gavel. The darkness that had blighted justice in our land these past 10 years has at last been dispelled, thanks in no small part to the efforts of a bright young star from the east. Defense Counsel Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. On behalf of everyone here present in the Old Bailey, I give you my heartfelt thanks. You're too kind, my lord. The first time I faced you in court, just under a year ago now, I had the faintest of intimations that if British justice, so warped and twisted over its long history, were finally to know change, this might just be the man to do it. Van Ziegs! But at the time, I wouldn't allow myself to acknowledge the possibility. I couldn't overcome my hatred of the Japanese after the circumstances of my brother's death. Mr. Naruhodo, allow me to apologize for countless discourtesies on my part. You are a lawyer of boundless talent. Oh, Lord Van Ziegs! When I first arrived in Great Britain, I was literally a nobody, certainly not a lawyer. The truth is, my fortunes have been entirely made by the miraculous people I've met. My best friend, Kazuma, who led me here to Britain in the first place. My loyal and ever-patient judicial assistant, Masusato, helped me study to become a lawyer and who I'm going to put a ring on as soon as we get back to Japan. The brilliant Lord Van Ziegs, who never failed to change his Japanese rival. And not to mention, the exceptional master of logic and reasoning who showed me the true art of deduction, Mr. Scholz. Saving the best for last, Mr. Naruhodo. What a relief. Well aware, without all these people's help and support, I wouldn't be where I am today. The truth is a guiding light that always leads to happiness. I've lived by that principle for a long time now. But actually, it's not true. The truth can also cause great pain, sometimes even leave people on the brink of despair. For that reason, there are those who feel the need to hide the truth. We do it instinctively even. As soon as we allow our eyes to settle on something other than the truth, the darkness takes hold. From there it grows, until eventually, it makes us blind to the guiding light of the truth altogether. That's why it's my belief that we must all resolve never to avert our eyes from what is just and true. So we can continue to walk the straight and narrow path ahead. Well, I must excuse myself now. Before I go, Mr. Naruhodo, let me compliment you on your grand opus. What? Without your beautifully composed case against Lord Strongheart, Her Majesty would have been unable to act. Thanks to you and your fellows, the haunting undertones of corrupting Britain's justice system have been silenced. Thank you very much. So, till our paths cross again somewhere. Bye, Sholmes. See you back home. Well then, it would appear that this long trial has finally come to an end. My apologies for any anxiety caused, my lord. I'm quite sure we shall meet again here in the courtroom before long, Prosecutor Barak Van Ziegs. In conclusion of these proceedings, I hereby declare the defendant, Barak Van Ziegs, not guilty. Woohoo! No extra firework for Van Ziegs? Nah. That is all. Court is adjourned. We are free. We have saved the day. Now we get to watch the post-trial scenes. And possibly get deported. It really is all over. Did I sacrifice too much? Mr. Naruhodo. Really must congratulate you. It was truly splendid performance. Honestly, I couldn't be happier for you. Yeah, well, actually, we don't know who Iris's dad is, but other than that, pretty much everything's been answered. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Yeah, Iris is dead. Your kind words mean so much to me. It really was a very splendid show, that, Naruhodo. And I thought you'd be smiling from ear to ear, but you look rather glum. Well, of course I'm delighted about the verdict. In exposing the truth, I'm afraid I've caused my client a great deal of pain. I'm really not sure that's what a lawyer ought to be doing. Oh, well, in that case, I'm quite sure that when you see Lord Van Zeeks' smiling face, everything will seem so much better. Does this look like a smile to you, Susato? Miss Susato, everything seems worse. He has a face like thunder. Oh dear, I really shouldn't have presumed. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Almost a year it's been now since I first encountered you here in this very courthouse. For you to have risen to the level of excellence you demonstrated today, well, it's quite remarkable. But I suppose the most unpalatable truth you could have imagined here in court today. Feels I've robbed you of something you held so dear. What was it he said? To fight those who dwell in the darkness requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. But that was just the feeble excuse of a coward. Only those with a steadfast eye for the truth have what it takes to fight the dark forces of crime. You made fine work of establishing that fact in court today. Oh. Well, thank you. Man, he's grown so much from when he shouted yes at the start of the trial and held up his hand. What magnanimous words! I'm quite sure Kazuma-sama would have smiled on his face this very moment if he were here. Kazuma. Susato, do you know what a smile is? Susato, there's another face like thunder here. Oh my, and he really was here. Lord Van Zeeks. Allow me to congratulate you on your acquittal. Congratulate me, or curse me. You failed to bring down the Reaper. I owe you an apology. No, it is I who should apologize. Your father, Genshin. If I had been stronger, then perhaps I made an unforgivable error of judgment. I can offer no excuse. And I can offer no forgiveness. That said, I suppose you fought for justice and the truth. For that at least, I cannot withhold respect. Your words mean more to me than you could know. I will hold them dear. Kazuma-sama! You guys gonna smile or is this a pity party? I must say, there's one thing that's still bothering me. What's that? The will Lord Clint Van Zeeks wrote before his duel with my father. You are the father! Final 2 wishes. Document survives. Second, he cannot commit to paper. I can't believe Van Zeeks has a genius little sister. What can the second of his final wishes have been? That your father agreed to honor, you mean? I think perhaps I might be able to shed some light on that. What? Father? It was 10 years ago, as you know. The day before the execution was scheduled. I went to the prison to say my farewells to Genshin. Why aren't you putting up more of a fight, Genshin? Only agreed to it, Seishiro and I would gladly petition the government. Been through this already. You don't need to worry about me. Anyway, Yuji, I have a favor to ask of you. Something of great importance. My greatest friends, Genshin. Whatever is it? Whatever it is, consider it done. I'm going to tell you an address. You should go there at once, in secret and telling no one. should find a lady of the gentry hiding there. Lady of the gentry? She's not in a good way, and she's with child. The birth is imminent. As a medical man, I'd like you to attend to her. Please, you're her only hope. By any chance, is the child yours, Genshin? Don't be daft. It's a favor that was asked of me by a man I knew. As his dying wish. My goodness. I swore to the man I would help, and I would do whatever I could for his wife and his unborn child. If something should happen to me, I need to ask you that same favor. You're the only person I know that I can truly rely on. What did you say? If something should happen to you, tomorrow night you're going to be... You never know, though, do you? What life will bring? Alright, then, tell me the address. Head there at once. Seishiro. No, not with him. Pardon? The favor I'm asking of you, and only you, Eugene. Right, I see. Very well, then. That very night, I caught a train from Paddington to Dartmoor and Devon. Found the old house, in the middle of nowhere it was. An old hunting hound lay asleep on the grounds. The poor woman was on the floor at the back of a darkened room. She was in mortal danger. I broke her waters to precipitate labor before she weakened further. It was a torturous birth. I had everything humanly possible for her and her child. Oh no! Iris! In the end, I was lucky enough to welcome a new life into the world. But tragically, my efforts to save the mother's life were in vain. I held the healthy newborn girl in my arms and wept for longer than I care to remember. Eventually, something of a daze, I looked around the room. The precarious little in it, an old travel trunk caught my eye. Clearly been well looked after over the years, made of top quality leather with fine stitching. It was when I saw the emblem on the side of it that everything dropped into place. Ah, that's why Sholmes knew everything. B for Baskerville. Baskerville? I mean, the woman was the wife of Lord Clint Van Zieks! That's right. Newborn was his daughter. But that makes no sense. Why on earth wouldn't Clint have entrusted the child to my care in that case? I was completely unaware he even had a daughter. I suppose he didn't really have any choice. What? Well, your brother said he'd confessed everything to his wife, so she must have been beside herself with worry for her child. If the true identity of the professor were ever to be made public, the girl would be forever branded as the daughter of an infamous mass murderer. Ah! So the only solution was to distance the young girl from the Van Zieks family as much as possible. I don't believe it. Imagine that in his final hour, Lord Clint Van Zieks made the obvious choice. He would have thought to himself, this Japanese man here is someone I can trust. I honored my promise to Genshin, of course. However, only a month later, I was summoned back to Japan. Without disclosing the parentage of the child, I couldn't obtain permission to take her with me. Oh, how awful! I was completely at a loss. In the end, I had to ask my great friend. I asked him if he would be a father to her. That being Mr. Sholmes, I presume. Yes. He took one look into my eye and agreed to it on the spot. Mr. Sholmes, he has a heart of gold and a mind of butter. Really, all can be said that I did for the child was to give her a name. Oh? I come to Britain. I was trying to escape from the grief of losing my darling wife. So it was her name I gave to the little girl. Your wife's name, Professor Mikotaba? In other words, name of my mother. Ayame Mikotaba. Oh! That's right, Ayame. Or in English, Iris. Iris! I had no idea. Ouch! The bunny! Ah, my dear fellows, can you hear me? Sholmes? Ow! Yes, we can hear you! See what excessive tugging can do. Let that be a lesson to you. Mr. Sholmes, we weren't able to thank you properly before. You're simply marvelous. Your checkmate move was a stroke of genius. Indeed it was, wasn't it? I surpassed myself, I feel. It's become apparent to me that to stop the Lord Chief Injustice would require such measures. Bruno, Susie! Oh, Iris! Oh, I'm so pleased. What a wonderful outcome. Her Majesty Queen Vicky said she thought my special blend was delicious. Oh, I'm sure she did. After all, no one brews a more delicious tea than you do, Iris. Let's have a party to celebrate. Mr. Reaper, you simply must come too. What? I'm afraid I couldn't. The Reaper of the Bailey flustered by a 10-year-old girl again. No, really? Oh, pooh. But I give you my word that I shall present myself at your residence in the near future to express my gratitude. Uncle Barrick. You've promised now. I won't let you forget it. Bye for now, then. Alright, Iris. Thank you for all your help earlier. Oh, that was nothing. Just come back home soon. Ow! God damn it, Sholmes. Ah, now you're smiling. See, that's what a smile looks like, Susato. Well, I think I ought to be leaving. Lord Van Zieks, would you care to accompany me? Certainly. Mr. Naruhodo, allow me once again to express my deep gratitude to you. I believe you saved my life. Wait, Lord Van Zieks! Yes. What are you intending to do now? Well, clearly, I shall have to resign from the prosecutor's office. Oh no! I intend to publicize the full truth about the Professor case. Once that's done, Van Zieks' family will be ostracized completely from London society. Surely not. As soon as I am free from my employment, I shall leave the capital. Oh, I see. Don't be a fool. Was the actions of a man once feared as the mighty Reaper of the Bailey? I beg your pardon. For the past 10 years, you've endured that pseudonym and been cast as one of the dark forces yourself. Now that you've finally been freed from that disrepute, the battle is just beginning, surely. Well, I certainly never expected to hear those words from your lips. It waited a very long time to come to London. Now I'm properly here. I intend to learn all that I can. Anyway, goodbye for now. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Bye, guys! Man, those are the friendliest prosecutors ever. Yeah, let's go back to Baker Street. You're coming too, Dad. It was then that I came to an important decision about my future. Oh yeah, we have to decide if we're staying here or going home. Ah, feast for the second day in a row. I'm home. Ah! By the time you got here, we made ages, Odo. How'd you get the colorful piece of history back? It's a party! Gotta go off with a bang! I mean, fireworks, ideally. Ain't got fire, smoke's the next best thing, ain't it? There's a girl on Fresno Street who could help you with that, I think. Right, I'll remember that. You don't have to reload that thing every time I speak. You really must hear this. It's the most extraordinary thing. I assure you will defy your expectations. Take down every detail now, Mikotama. Ah, the world-famous great detective regaling his partner with the tale of his adventure. A sight to behold. If you care to hazard a guess, where do you suppose the fiendish runaway had concealed himself? Would you believe? Inside the trunk I found abandoned in his cabin. I would believe it, yes. I say, Mikotama, I take not a hint of surprise. I wonder why that is. Maybe be because I was there at the scene as well, Sholmes. What? You were? Why the deuce didn't you say so before? Sholmes. Hard not to feel privileged to see it. Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Professor Mikotaba, back from the Bailey. Not a moment too soon. A feast prepared by Iris and Miss Usato awaits. Mind of butter? Heart of gold, mind of butter. Usato's... Haven't seen Susato looking so happy in a long time. Ah, Runo, there you are. Dinner's on the table, everyone. Please do come and take a seat. Time to fill me boots. You're gonna put food in your boots? At least keep your fish and chips in a newspaper. Goodness, is that really true, Gina? Yep. I'm losing me copper clubber and going back to what I know best. It's a diver's life for me. What? Why are you leaving the police? Oh yes, that reminds me. Rather thoughtfully offered to relieve the bailiff of this now defunct piece of evidence. Eh? It's Gregson's watch! That watch was his pride and joy, a symbol of his great achievements at Scotland Yard. 10 years without fail, measured every second of the man's remarkable career. And now, it stopped. Someone needs to keep the memory of Inspector Gregson's career alive by taking on the great responsibility of winding that watch every single day again. Yeah, someone with an equally fierce detective spirit. It's gotta be me! There ain't no one else! Good work, guys. We coerced her into staying a detective. I mean, after all, the boss was... well, he was my boss. Yes, Jenny, he was! Oh yeah, I made you a promise and all, didn't I, Iris? I'd become a proper detective one day and track down your old man. You can't bring the dead. Not entirely sure that would be appropriate. Yes, I think, Gina, it might be best to, well, I'd like you to forget that promise, Ginny. Eh? Iris? Well, obviously, I've always wondered about who my real daddy is. Of course I have. I want to know where I've come from. Thought it might tell me something about myself. I've caused a lot of trouble trying to find out. There's so many people. Hurley, Runo, Professor Mickey. Oh no, not at all, my dear. Really, you owe no apology to anyone. Anyway, I decided to give up on it, because I finally realized my daddy is the greatest in the world. I don't think it matters what his name is or where he's from. Don't you agree? Hurley? Every word, Iris. Thank you, Hurley. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Mikotaba. Yes, Sholmes? I think that I have to express my gratitude to you. Oh? 6 years, you and I solved many mysteries together. During that time, I remembered countless expressions of gratitude for our good service. But a moment ago, I heard the most pleasing expression of gratitude of them all. And I should never have experienced it. Were it not for you, you old softy, Sholmes. But I must confess, it's a weight off my mind to hear you say it. Well then, I think this calls for a lengthy violin recital, wouldn't you say? Oh, well, the food would go cold, that's the only problem. Maybe next week, Hurley. I'm sure a week is long enough, Iris. Ha 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 ha! Even amidst the most troubling of cases, even reeling from the most shocking of revelations, Turning in the evening to this suite of rooms, there's always warmth and happiness to be had. The home of the world's greatest detective. My home, too. And my greatest family. Static Room has been my home and office for almost a year now. I've certainly had some unforgettable experiences whilst I've lived here. I think now, time has come. I had my license for less than 2 weeks and I've already put the man who gave it to me behind bars. Time to bid this place farewell. Naruhodo. Hi, Dad. Professor! Are you alone? I didn't hear any sound from Susato's room. Yes, Susato went out after dinner. Took a carriage. Something about important matters she needs to take care of. Ah, I see. Wanted to thank you for what you did earlier. Oh? With Iris, I mean, when the subject of her father came up. Lord Clint Van Zieks. Made up my mind many years ago never to tell her who her real father was. So I was agreed with Genshin after all. Lord Clint Van Zieks' final wishes before he died, you mean? Yes, I've had to take some rather drastic steps at times to protect that secret, you know. Calling Susato back to Japan 6 months ago, for example. That's why? I read Soseki-san's report about his final days in London. My heart nearly stopped. Stumbled across the crux of that terrible case, the dog's collar. The description of the Baskerville insignia left me in no doubt. Baskerville. You decided to investigate that insignia. Sooner or later, you'd have made the connection to the Van Zieks. To make matters worse, Susato knew of the unpublished story as well. A story that Iris had written based on my notes of him at the time. Ah yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Exactly. A work of fiction, but based on the grim reality of a huge beast of a dog being used as a murder weapon. A dog with the Baskerville family emblem around its neck. Armed with those 2 clues, I feared you and Susato might arrive at the truth. So I invented that story about having collapsed to justify her leaving London and returning to Japan at once. Okay, alright, I forgive you. All in aid of halting any investigations you and she might have been contemplating. I see. We weren't thinking anything about that. Something I've never understood. It's why Susato came across that manuscript in Japan. You know, Iris is the Hound of Baskerville's story, I mean. Sholmes sent it to me. That was before Susato left Japan. I was very troubled with what he should do about it, you see. I'd read it and carelessly left it on my desk. Which is where Susato came across it, of course. Ah. It's the only case Sholmes and I ever pursued that I didn't record in meticulous detail. I was stunned when I discovered that young Iris had pieced together so much of it from my paltry notes. Sholmes and I discussed the matter and decided that we couldn't allow the story's publication. At that point, I returned the manuscript by post to Sholmes for safekeeping. You did all that to stop Iris from finding out the truth about her father? That's right, because Sholmes had told me how astute she'd become. However, having witnessed events in court today, I must say my opinion is somewhat shifted. Oh? I think at some point in the future, time will come for Iris to know the truth. When it does, well, I believe it will be for the best. I think so too. Actually, Professor, I wanted to talk to you about something too. Judging from that expression, I'd say you've come to a decision, have you? Yes, I have. I will be returning with you to Japan. Are you quite sure? I'm really only here as a substitute for Kazuma, but he's here in Britain now, as originally intended. Locum student Naruhodo Esquire. Doesn't really have a right to stay, I think. Looking back now, when I first arrived here in February, this was an empty room. Becoming a lawyer just seemed to be the way things turned out. It's Kazuma, Susato-san, and Mr. Sholmes all gently pushing me in that direction. I spent the best part of a year immersed in this world, but always aware of a seed of doubt inside me. Until today. Standing in that courtroom earlier, all doubts vanished from my mind. I was totally focused. I was sure of my belief in my client, and I was sure I could see the trial through. Yet at the end of it, I finally realized no one else chose this path for me. I chose it myself. Path of defense lawyer, eh? Yes, that's what I am now. That's what I'll be going back with. That's what I'll be going back with you to Japan as. I think that's the path I'll be following for the rest of my life. Well, it sounds like you made quite a resolution there. Resolve. Very well then. I must say, it's extremely welcome news. I'll make arrangements for your return first thing tomorrow. I don't imagine we'll depart for a few days. Now with the symposium having been cancelled now, such a shame. Never mind. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities in the future. Well then, I bid you good night. Hey, I thought you went for a walk in the London fog. How long have you been standing there? Hi, hi. How much did you hear? Did you hear what your father and I were discussing? I'm sorry, I did. Yes, I couldn't help but. Oh, how much did you hear? From the part about Iris's real father, I think. In other words, from the beginning. It's like you've made up your mind. You'll return to Japan and continue working as a defense lawyer. Ah, yes, I'm sorry. I really should have consulted you about it. I went too early this evening, actually, but you'd already gone out. Oh no, that's quite alright. I already knew that's what you'd decide, Naruhodo-san. She read my mind again! Susato-san. Ah, yes? Suppose this means it has to be farewell soon. I suppose it'll be a great help to Kazuma going forward. And I know he's a brilliant lawyer, but he's new to the British courtroom. He'll certainly benefit greatly having a brilliant judicial assistant at his side. I'll do my very best. I wish I could say it, but I just can't. I can't ask her to come with me. After all, she's always supposed to be coming to Britain as Kazuma's assistant. She reads minds. Stop thinking about it. Yes, I'm very exhausted after this almost 7-hour stream to finish the game. Before I retire, let me just say one more time. You really were quite splendid in court today. So if you ask me, anyone who thinks of you as a substitute or locum should be ashamed of themselves. Susato-san. Yeah, Soseki, you should be ashamed! Thank you. You hear that, Soseki? November 7th at 5 in the morning at the Port of Dover. It would not be dawn at 5 a.m. on the 7th of November in Great Britain. Can't believe this day's finally come. You're really leaving then, Bruno? I'm afraid so, Iris. Thank you so much for everything. I don't know what I'll do with your wonderful cooking without your wonderful cooking and delicious tea. Of course I'll come back and visit. Maybe in like 10 years. Sholmes has to say goodbye to his great friend again. Although it's a very brief reunion, but it was a pleasure to pursue a case with you again after so long. For a while, at least, it felt like old times. Yes, I suppose on reflection, there's something to be said for it. Having a little fun once in a while. Let's go and say goodbye to the professor as well, I think. Alright, Iris, you do that. Honk! Oh no, there's a goose.
Susato-san.
I've just checked, Naruhodo-san. Your luggage is already on board. Such a beautiful morning. Perfect for embarking on a journey, isn't
The
it?
size of my clown nose is enormous.
Before I set off, I'd just like to say how thankful I am for everything you've done for me. And give my warmest regards to Kazuma, please.
Actually, I think you ought to give him your regards in person, don't you?
He's here?
Sorry?
Ryunosuke,
He is here!
Kazuma! What are you doing here?
do you really think I'd miss my best friend's departure?
Yes.
Thanks. To be honest, I'd been looking forward to our wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's capital. But,
Well, we'll have to save that for another time. Personally, I'm looking forward to facing you in court again.
me too. But, we're both defense lawyers, so,
I'm going to become a prosecutor. I'll stay in Lord Van Zeek's tutelage for the time being, but before long, I intend to be just as formidable as the Reaper himself.
Oh, I see.
He's gonna start drinking wine!
Actually, Ryunosuke, I have a favor to ask.
Uh-oh.
Name it.
Not again.
I'd like you to take care of this for me for a while.
Karuma? Why?
Because I've seen it now. I've seen what's inside me. The demon that reared its ugly head that day.
Gregson!
It was only for the briefest of moments. The last time I came face to face with that inspector, but it was unmistakable. I wanted to kill him.
You do know you have another sword right there.
I've always known there are demons that live inside people. And now I know there is one in me. The fact that it very nearly consumed me is something I'll carry with me until the end of my days, while I devote my life to fighting those whose demons have got the better of them. As a prosecutor.
Okay.
So, that's what you've resolved to do, is it?
Resolve.
Until I'm ready to face the demon within me, to slay it once and for all. I leave this in your care, if you'll take it.
Sure.
Of course I will.
have a spot to put
I'll
my
keep it
hand
by
when
my
I'm doing my
side.
smug face.
Always.
Shh.
Until we
Talk
meet
about the
again, then.
agreement.
You have your path to follow, and I have mine.
I'm gonna go beat up Ouchie.
Naruhodo-san,
Susato?
the path you're going to follow from now on, I wonder if I might follow it at your side, unless I'd be a burden.
What?
We're in!
I mean,
Quick, get in the
would
luggage!
very much like you to come with me.
Hide in the wardrobe, it'll be great!
But aren't you...
You're so predictable, Ryunosuke.
I am?
Honestly, you never change at all. But that's what I like about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
You mean you knew about this?
It was the evening after Lord Van Zeek's trial came to an end.
Uh-huh.
She came to see me at the prosecutor's office.
Nezuko
Really?
slide.
Or when I had that conversation with Professor Mikotoba.
So, you'd go with Ryunosuke back to Japan?
Yes, I know it's unfair of me to follow my own interests like this.
Coming here especially to tell me. You're a stickler for etiquette, aren't you? Well, what are his feelings?
We've never discussed it, of course, and Naruhodo-san has made no such suggestion. I worry that perhaps I'd be a burden to him.
Nope, we're getting married.
He's just as much of a stickler for etiquette as you are. He'd never say anything before he was asked. But I'd feel happy knowing you were with him.
Yay!
Look out for him on my behalf, will you?
Of course.
Susato-san.
What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
Please marry
With you
me.
by my side, no trial would seem too daunting. So if you're willing, I'd be honored if you'd come with me. Together we can take on the world.
And by the world we mean Aoji, because he's the only prosecutor in Japan.
I'm terribly incompetent, but if you'll have me, I'd be delighted.
Oh, no, not at all. If anyone's terribly incompetent, it's me.
Ah! What's wrong?
My ticket!
Your luggage, Susato-san. There's no time. The ship's going to set sail any minute now.
It's all right. There's no need to worry. As it happens, my luggage is already on board too.
It is?
Your fine judicial assistant has everything in hand as always.
She
I
is
see.
fine indeed. Honk!
Bruno, your ship's about to leave.
Man, they pegged Iris's
to go
voice
then.
better than I did.
Look after yourself, Ryunosuke.
Thank you, Kazuma.
Kazuma, draw your sword.
He switched his sword side. Please don't tell me we're gonna kill Kazuma. Hey, we didn't put the tip back on. Let's go.
One day, when our paths cross, once more, we'll fight a duel of words across the courtroom. A day I eagerly await as a lawyer.
Yay!
I've been waiting to hear you say that. Partner,
Partner. Our swords cross at the rising sun in Japan.
Don't forget me then, Kazuma.
as if I could. Ryunosuke.
And Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. I'm very much indebted to you.
Indeed, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you are.
I'll never forget all you've done for me
I think I
during my
pegged
time in London.
Sholmes' voice pretty well.
Quite. I should like to think you will remember your debt of gratitude. Especially when I visit you in your country. What? The truth is, although many are ignorant of the fact, the world is far smaller than most folk realize.
Well, I'd be delighted if you came to Japan one day.
Bring Iris with you.
Oh, yes! Would welcome you with open arms, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, that sounds wonderful! I can't wait!
In that case, let us conclude that this is to be merely a brief parting, my dear fellows.
Bye, Sholmes. I'll miss you.
And that brings us to the end of my adventures in Great Britain.
There's a pause feature.
A peculiar twist of fate
Which
brought
one
me
of them is
halfway
us?
around the world those many months ago. But that was just the start of my journey. Who knows where fate will lead me next?
There we
Still.
are.
I'm confident this won't be my last meeting with the friends I've made in London. And when we're together again, no doubt the first words I'll hear will be,
Objection.
Come, the game is afoot.
Ah.
The ship, with our friends from the east, sailed steadily towards the distant horizon. But Sholmes' face was alight with joy.
The times may change, but a steadfast friendship will remain true, Wilson. We have but to gently close our eyes, and we are with our companions once more.
Hey!
So I do just that. And when I do, I can hear his strong, familiar voice ring
Say it with
out.
me, everyone.
Objection!
Woohoo! He said the thing!
Till we meet again, Bruno.
Yay! That was good. Phenomenal indeed. Remote cinematography. No purveyor of electrical goods. Closed court secrecy. And he's jumping ship to Japan. Wardrobe class. I liked it. I feel like the second game was the better of the two, but the first one had a lot more setting up to do, so I can't count too many points of. Give him some lotion to dye his hair red safely. The second game definitely had more interesting twists and a couple more spots that were a bit difficult. But the first game did a great job of setting the stage for everything that was going to happen in this one, while also wrapping up its own mysteries. Hi, Barrick. Ah, you wear your brother's badge. Toby! The boss left a note for you and you can read every letter! Oh, she's learned how to read! Boss was trying to protect you. The Crystal Tower! Poor Gina. Gregsy! Deduction a la Gregson! Look at that smirk on his face! Gregson, you sly dog. Ouchie! I know who's on trial here. Why is Soseki over here? And Ray! It's Hosonaga on trial! Why are they your legal team? Ooh. We're gonna see Olive Green again? Hi, Gory. filleting corpses? Oh, they fillet fish corpses. She tried to fillet her own mother. Jesus. Ah, she does love her mom. How cute. Hairbrain, what are you? Oh, you're back because the Reaper's gone. Aw, no. He can't afford his hotel. Hello to spells. Yeah, it's not his best moment. Struck a bargain with Lord Chief Justice. As a whole, I think it's very smart of them to have included both games in one package for this. Hi, Gossip, Vigil, Daily, Boone, Hugh. Hey, De Rossi! And De Rousseau. You guys aren't putting up your three-man show? Oh, Evie! How charming. You've made lots of new friends here, I see. Yes, and when we're released, we're going to strike it rich together. But yeah, overall, great game. I enjoyed every minute of it. I only got stuck a couple of times because I was being very Pepega. Yeah, Evie is extremely loyal. I am slightly sad we didn't get to defend Kazim at all, as a sort of full circle from the first one. Yeah, there were some bits where even, like, both me, you, and everyone else in chat had no clue what was going on. And then after a variety of guessing and checking, we finally figured it out. Well, that's good. It's nice to have a couple spots where you're not immediately handed the answer. Oh, they put a painting over the bullet hole. As soon as we land, you're going to be going up against Ouchie. My new office. A great ace attorney. Roll credits. We're done. She said the thing. She dropped the name. Look, we even got a picture together. But where's Dad? Oi, when did Wag get in the picture? How did Wag get in the picture but Dad didn't? Come on. Now you have to show a picture of our wedding. Ah, more credits. Alright, this is the style of credits I didn't show for the first one because I had to leave because it was running extra long and I had to eat dinner. Look at, he's just Look, it's Susato dressed as a man. God damn, she looks so good. And the cats. And Ouchie with his little bit of hair, and the reporter man. Hi, Ouchie, I'm coming to beat you up again. Oh, Natsume! You're still shivering. Classic Natsume. You're right, she did pretend to be a Naruhodo. Look, it's Kazuma's grave! Susato, how did you get up here? I just passed you. Yeah, overall I enjoyed this game. If it wasn't apparent from the fact that this has been a 7-hour stream to finish the final chapter. It was a very good game. I'll probably go back at some point to get all the achievements, because a lot of them seem to be relatively simple now that I've actually beaten the game and can chapter select and skip all the text. This entire chapter was about 10 hours? Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that might be roughly as long as the final chapter from the first one. Oh, it's somewhere between 8 and 10. Look, it's the prince! And the balloon! Just purchase a new balloon, kid. Come on. Hello, Scythe, and young Scythe, and Hairbrain, and Barrack. I would prefer it if it was him putting his leg on the bench. Beppo! I'm so glad you're one of the few people who made an appearance in both games. Oh, and he's gone. How is Daily Vigil in 2 places at the same time? Who else showed up in both games? Most of the jurors from Natsume's trial. The foreman of the very first jury. That's about it. Most of them were new people. Hi, Sholmes. Gregson! Well, Shamspear and the gas delivery dude don't particularly count because we never got their names. Then again, we never got the name of the jury people, but... Alright, I guess we can count Shamspear and the other dude, and Olive Green. Oh, he came up here to go dance. Jigoku. Can't say I'm guilty now that you're guilty. Lord Chief Justice! Look at you do your little hand clap thing. It's cute! Yes, faster! More! And he's gone. I gotta say, seeing Miko Taba do the little tap dance whenever he was solving Sholmes' deduction, mid-deduction, was top quality. That was some good stuff. Now I wish we had a game that went into more detail about some of the stuff they did back 10 years ago. Because I would do those deductions like every day of the week. Deductions were a great addition, I'll say. I don't know if we're ever going to get another Ace Attorney game, but if we do, I'd hope something relatively similar to that could be added in. Actually, no, I won't say that. Because there's one thing I actually do want in the next Ace Attorney game if it ever comes out, and that's Gumshoe. If Gumshoe's not in it, I'm rioting. He's got to come back. It's been like 15 years. I need to see him as whatever he is. The chief of police. That's what he needs to be. Look at that picture. I got the achievement. The Risen Resolve. Look at that. I'm running towards defense. He's running towards prosecution. Beautiful. That appears to be at what's... Oh god, there's a special contents button. What do we have here? Oh, good. Accolades. Oh, good. I can see which ones I have and don't have. Named Ouchi and Mikotaba as the victim. Okay, alright. Do the dumb stuff. Examine the medical report inside it. Okay. What? Available outfits. Outfits? Extra escapades. I could have had Japanese shawls. I could have had this on Susato. Oh! Only for the second game. What are these? Okay, these seems like mini shorts, so I'm going to opt not to do them for the moment. Gallery's just gonna have all the portraits and little videos. Susato. Ooh, early versions of Susato. Look, she's got a little purple robe on. This is Susato, but younger. Height difference, surprised. They're standing next to each other. Oh. Alright. That's going to be everything. Thank you all for coming out and watching. I'm going to end the stream, close the game, and attempt to make highlights out of this 7-hour monstrosity. I hope to see you guys at whatever the hell my next stream is going to be. Probably Pokemon Sword with Tom again, but we'll see. Anyways, this has been the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Both games. I had a lot of fun. I hope anyone watching had a lot of fun too. If you want to get the game yourself, you can, though at this point you'd already know all the stuff, so it'd be a little bit less impactful, but it's good stuff. Watching other people do it and seeing their reactions to stuff, which parts they have problems with, which parts they figure out immediately, it's always a lot of fun. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.